Hello all and welcome to session 32 of Direct Tax 2, 4th semester BCom of Mangalore University. Now in the previous session, we had learned about the meaning of capital gain. We had learned about the types of capital asset. We had learned the period of holding to treat a capital asset, whether it is a short-term or a long-term capital asset. In this particular session, we are going to learn about the types of capital gain and the transfer of capital assets and transactions which are not regarded as transfer, though there is change in ownership. So these are a few topics that we are going to cover in this particular session. Let's look at types of capital gain. Now, in the previous session, we had learned there are two kinds of capital assets. One is short-term capital asset, and the second one is long-term capital asset. Now, what do you mean by short-term capital gain? Any gain arising on the transfer of a short-term capital asset is treated as short-term capital gain. So, capital gain arising on the sale or transfer of a short-term capital asset is treated as a short-term capital gain. As far as long-term capital gain is concerned, so when we are transferring a long-term capital asset, the resultant gain is long-term capital gain. So long-term capital gain refers to the gain arising on the sale or transfer of the long-term capital assets. So as we have been discussing the elements of capital gain, two basic points: existence of a capital asset, and the second one is transfer of a capital asset or sale of a capital asset. Just if you have a capital asset, just if I have jewelry, and if I don't transfer it, if I don't sell it, there is no resultant capital gain. So transfer of a capital asset is a must for us to calculate the capital gain. Now, transfer of capital asset, there are different names. It can be treated as a sale, exchange, where you exchange, say, property X with property Y, or asset X with asset Y. Then we have compulsory acquisition under any law. The central government may acquire a piece of land, for the construction of railway or for the construction of national highway. The state government would acquire a property, for construction of some need-based requirement. So if as per the law, the property is compulsorily acquired, that is also included in the meaning of capital asset. Then relinquishment or extinguishments of the right therein. You are giving up the right. You are giving up the right on that particular asset. So if in case you are giving up the right on that asset, that also will be included in the meaning of transfer. Next, we have by compulsory auctioning of the property by law for a consideration. Sometimes the property will be compulsorily acquired and auctioned off as per the law. Maybe the home loan, balance of an SSE is not repaid. So the banks are going to serve notice, and under the Sarfazi Act, bank will take the right therein of the property and auction it. And in case if the property is auctioned and the amount is received by the owner of the property, that will also be included in the meaning of capital asset. So as per section 2, subsection 47, transfer includes the sale, exchange, or relinquishment of the right, the extinguishment of any rights therein, or compulsory acquisition thereof under any law. Transfer also includes where the asset is converted by the owner into stock in trade for his business. Let's take example. Suppose I am a jewelry businessman. I am transferring the gold, the jewelry that is, at home, and I'm using it or bringing it as a stock for my business. So it's a personal asset, but jewelry is a capital asset. It is now converted into the stock of the business, and I'm going to sell that jewelry through my business. So that is also included in the meaning of transfer. We have to consider this as well. Next, we have any transaction involving the allowing of the possession of any immovable property be taken or retained in part performance of a contract. So suppose we are going to construct a house, and as a part of construction, I enter into an agreement with a contractor saying that I will not be paying you any money for the work that you do. Instead, I am going to transfer the land, the piece of land, maybe a 4 cents or a 5 cents land in your name. So there is a performance of a contract, a work has been done, and as a part of it, immovable property is transferred to the person who provided us that particular service. So that is also included in the meaning of transfer. Then we have any transaction which has the effect of transferring or enabling the enjoyment of immovable property. If other than me, I am the owner, but if I'm transferring the ownership rights or the enjoyment rights of that immovable property in favor of another person, that is also included in the meaning of transfer. Now we come to a very important point. There are certain transactions, though there is a change in ownership of the property, these are not regarded as transfer. So which are those? So though there is change in ownership of the capital asset, the transaction is not treated as a transfer as per Income Tax Act. First one is transfer of assets on the total or partial partition of a family property, especially in HUF. Suppose if there is a partition in the family property and assets are transferred to each of the family members, either the entire, all the assets are transferred or only, a partial partition of the family assets are happening. So that will not be regarded as a transfer because the property will still remain in the family itself. Assets transferred under a will or gift or to an irrevocable trust. Suppose a father on his deathbed writes a will saying that the agricultural land will be transferred or will be, has to be given to my wife. The house which is there should be given to my elder son. Agricultural land which is there in another area should be given to my daughter. So once the person dies, the will be executed and the property will be distributed or transferred accordingly. So from the husband, the wife becomes the owner, the son becomes the owner, the daughter becomes the owner. So though there is change in ownership, when the property is transferred, assets are transferred under a will or as a gift or an irrevocable trust, that is not regarded as a transfer and not eligible for computation of capital gain. Then we talk about liquidation of a company. Say company is going into liquidation, and as a part of payment to the shareholders, company is distributing assets in kind to its shareholders. That will not be considered as a transfer because shareholders are supposed to receive their money, but the company is giving them, assets in kind, in replacement or instead of that shareholders' money. So such a transfer of assets in kind by the company to its shareholders on liquidation will not be regarded as a transfer. Assets acquired by way of succession or inheritance. So as a matter of succession, death of the father, property automatically is transferred to his son, or maybe partially to his wife, spouse, and partially to his son or daughter, let's imagine. So assets acquired by way of succession or inheritance cannot be considered as a transfer. Next is transfer of assets by a holding company to a wholly owned subsidiary in India or vice versa. So assets is transferred by a holding company to its wholly owned subsidiary. And that subsidiary company, it can be in India or the other way around. So such a transfer from holding company to wholly owned subsidiary cannot be treated as a transfer. Then transfer of assets by the amalgamating company to an amalgamated company if the amalgamated company is in India. So amalgamation, two companies coming together, say A company and B company coming together to form AB Limited. So here A Limited and B Limited are amalgamating company and AB Limited becomes amalgamated company. So if A Limited and B Limited are transferring their assets in favor of AB Limited, then such transfer will not be regarded as transfer for the purpose of capital gain. provided the amalgamated company, that is AB Limited, is in India. Next, we have transfer of shares by shareholders of the amalgamating companies in exchange for shares of the amalgamated company. A Limited and B Limited no longer exist. They need to be given shares of AB Limited. So shares will be exchanged. Instead of shares of amalgamating company, shares of amalgamated company will be given to the shareholders of this new company. So that also will not be regarded as a transfer. Then transfer of any capital asset, work of art, say sculpture, painting, archaeological collection, or any book, or any historical monument. Maybe take, for example, the Tipu Sultan sword, or take, for example, Mahatma Gandhi's letters. These are, say, given to the government or university or national museum, that is for exhibition there, that will not be regarded as a transfer. Then transfer by way of converting your debentures, debenture stock, or deposit certificates in any form of a company into shares or debentures of that company. Say debenture stock is converted into debentures. Deposit certificates are converted into debentures. A debenture is converted into shares in a company. So such conversion will not be regarded as a transfer. So these are few aspects of the various kinds of capital gain. Then transactions which are regarded as transfer, meaning of transfer, sale, exchange, relinquishment or extinguishment of the right, compulsory acquisition under any law, or giving up the right in favor of someone else as far as enjoyment of immovable property is concerned. That is one part. That is the minimum included in the meaning of transfer. And also transactions which are not regarded as transfer. So when such transactions are entered into, there is no question of calculation of capital gain. So that's all in this session. Thank you.